faced extreme discrimination. What Mr. Mishra mentioned, he was moved to tears just mentioning that story about Dr. Ambedkar as a kid going through that kind of discrimination. Then when you see in 1956 the outpouring of grief, love across the country that we saw really is a testament to the scale of impact that this person achieved. So what is Mahaparinirvana? I'll stick to the kind of definition I can speak to, right? Which is, it says it's the final nirvana attained at or after the death of somebody who's already enlightened. Now, somewhere in there, in that definition, it almost seems like there is a finality to it, that final liberation. You just cross that threshold and that is it. But then, when you look at his life, you realize that there is no finality to these thoughts and ideas that he propagated. Those are things that cannot be final, they cannot end. So, to quote himself, he said, "Men are mortal, so are ideas. An idea needs propagation as much as plant needs watering. Otherwise, both will wither and die." Right? So, I'd like to take this opportunity to summarize 3 key takeaways that I've learned and that would be valuable to all of us regarding Dr. Baba Saheb's life. The first key takeaway that is something that we can implement is cultivating critical thinking and empathy. Who here does not have a mobile phone? Kids, come on. Kids aside. But among the adults, everybody has a mobile phone. Who here has never been on social media? Everybody has, right? So, in this era, what we see is we are in an era of echo chambers, digital noise, right? Sometimes hate-filled thoughts get a lot more attention than quality work that uplifts millions, right? So this is something that we have to that we will never give in to the thinking of the masses. We will educate ourselves, form our own opinions, think critically, and develop empathy for those who cannot speak up, the downtrodden, who are not on social media, who are not educated enough to even put food on their plate. Right, so that's one key thing that Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar clearly believed in. Right? Cultivate critical thinking and empathy. Now, secondly, another key takeaway from Dr. Baba Saheb's life was the fact that democracy is a moral compass. It's not a rule book alone. It's not just about the constitution. Samvidhan bana diya aur wo chale gaye. No. Democracy is a compass which guides us as a society. If he wanted to write only some rules based on his own life, he could have written just enough to uplift his people and forgotten about the rest. Right? Today, India is what it is, a land of diversity with people from all religions, caste, creed, color, eating styles, clothing styles, because he said democracy is meant to be that moral compass for all of us. He uplifted women, even belonging to the so-called higher castes or different religions, who didn't have the same rights as women from other religions. Women who couldn't step out of their bedroom if men were out there in the other room. Women who could not go to school. I mean, my own wife was a doctor, something that wouldn't have been possible just 60, 70 years ago. Right? So this is something we can learn here to use his teachings as a moral compass and realize that whatever voice we have, online and offline, we can use it to advocate for fairness in non-violent manner. Lastly, educate, organize, and agitate. We've all heard this phrase, educate, organize, agitate. What exactly does it mean? Right? When we talk about education, this thought from Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar comes to mind. He said, I measure the progress of a community by the degree of progress which women have achieved. In our country, we have a long way to go. We've come a long way, 100%. We've got a long way to go to ensure everybody's educated. Women have education and equal rights. Right? That's why he fought for gender equality. He fought for labor rights at a time when those were unheard of. Secondly, what does it mean to organize ourselves? Well, this is a great forum. Thank you, Kaka and everyone here, for organizing this kind of a forum where we can come together, organize toward mission that we all believe in. He taught us, Baba Sahib, that democracy isn't merely casting a vote. We all know, growing up in India, we know many people who just viewed election day as a holiday. छुट्टी है बस आराम से उठते हैं वोट देने गए तो ठीक नहीं तो forget about it कोई ना कोई आएगा सत्ता में बस और पैसे खाएगा और चले जाएगा right? But he never had that defeatist mindset. Something we can learn because in 1923, just a quick sidebar, and some of you may be aware of this. In 1923, the Bombay Legislative Council passed a resolution that said that even folks who belong to depressed classes had access to public facilities maintained by the government. They said this. This was followed up by a similar Mahad municipal resolution in 1924. He could have said, okay, I did what I had to, right? I played my role in pushing people to pass laws that give you equality. But no, he didn't stop there. In 1927, he had to organize the Mahad Satyagraha to take people there and give them access to the public chowdar tank, challenging discrimination. Unless he did it, unless he held people's hand and showed them that you can access this tank, people didn't know they could do it. They had no idea. That's what we mean by organize. And lastly, agitate for your rights and the rights of others. He led several temple entry struggles back in the day to let people access temples. Was it because he was particularly religious? No. It was because if these places were to be accessible to everyone, they really had to be accessible to everyone. There's a difference there. On paper, these places were accessible, but then in reality, it really took someone who firstly said, I'm not going to wear clothes like I'm depressed. I'm going to wear a suit and tie, and I will walk into these places holding hands of millions of people who never knew they had a voice. Right? Lastly, today, if we could talk to Baba Sahib and we asked him, Baba Sahib, you left us, we are really sad. What would you tell us? Well, he had his own words to quote. Life should be great rather than long. That's something he truly believed in. Today, by the time folks reach 65, they're just waiting to see when they can retire, access benefits, pension, etc. At the age of 69, when he passed away,